What up, guys? Welcome to my reaction series. Today, we're talking about modern women having to approach men. So, back in the day, there was a social contract between men and women. A man would see an attractive woman, approach her, and try to shoot a shot in a respectful manner. Or a young man would approach a young woman's father and ask him if he could take his daughter out on a date. It was nice, it was simple. But like most things that tend to make sense, modern women messed that whole thing up. They called it patriarchy and misogyny. Now men aren't approaching women, and women for sure aren't approaching men en masse. Now it's just one big staring contest. There are some women that have worked up the courage to approach men, and let's take a look at some of them. And fellas, I want you to rate their Riz in the comments. So this is Lit Girl 1.
Okay, the script. So
okay, let me make it full screen. Let's rate her Riz. Would you, if she approached you, would you respond?
okay, the script. So I went up to the counter of the coffee shop and was like, oh, do you guys have a pen? And then they gave me a pen and paper, and then I wrote my number on it, and I was initially going to give it to a waiter to then like drop it off, because I was wearing a white hat and I was kind of opposite him, so I was just going to get them to be like, oh, the girl in the white hat like wanted you to have a number, basically. But then I just got this like overwhelming boost of confidence, and I just walked straight up to him, tapped him on the back. He had his headphones in and he was working, so I definitely caught him by surprise. And I was like, hey, excuse me, so sorry to bother you. Are you single at all? And he goes, yeah, I am. And then I was like, oh, can I give you my number? And he was like, yeah. And then we had really like quick small talk, and then I was like, oh, I've got to go, but it was lovely to meet you. And then he's like, lovely to meet you. And that was it. And then I walked away. And honestly, even the feeling, it was exhilarating. So honestly, highly recommend. But I feel like I'm invincible now, which I'm absolutely not. Something happened today and I am traumatized.
All right, rate or Riz, guys. I think that's, men, they don't take much. So if he's single and he found her attractive, it's probably good enough. It's so much easier for us than it is for a guy. Let's look at this.
So I approached a guy at the gym and asked him for help, and it was like a good news, bad news type of situation. Mostly bad news, but I'm going to give you the tea. So I was like moving something across the gym, and I was like huffing and puffing when I was done, and we ended up making eye contact, and then we just started like a conversation, and he was like, oh, if you ever need any help with anything, like let me know. And I'm like, okay, bad. Like I'm taking that as you're like offering me help. I'm gonna ask you for help. So fast forward a couple minutes later, I finished my hip thrust. I'm literally dying, and I was like, I'm gonna go ask him for help just to bring the barbell up from like the ground up into the rack, so I don't have to do it, and then I can unrack my weight. Hi, can I get 2 shots of espresso over ice in a venti cup? And then do you guys have the vanilla protein
All right, rate that Riz. Would it work on you? Would it work on you, fellas?
shake, the cow one? I can never say it. $8.57 for Starbucks is such a ripoff. But anyways, so he helps me with that, and then he is like, okay, have a good workout, whatever. So we end up walking downstairs at the same time. We have like a 10-minute conversation at the bottom of the stairs. We end up exchanging numbers. I'm like, Bet, that's so cool. I had a feeling like, I was like, I don't think that this is going to go anywhere, but like, at least I put myself out there. So we were texting for a little bit. And then finally he goes like, what's your situation? And to me, that's like a red flag. I don't know. It just gave me like a weird vibe. So I'm like, okay, I'm no kids. I'm like not married. I'm like single, looking for a relationship essentially. This man tells me that he is married, but it's complicated. Okay, so you're married. To which I said, thank you for your transparency. Like, I'm super glad I didn't go out with him. And then he told me that. I said, thank you for your transparency, and I wish you the best of luck. So this story is to say that, like, just because you, like, open up the door to have a conversation with somebody doesn't mean that it's always going to go the way that you want it to or the way that you think it's going to go. But at the end of the day, you're still opening the door and you're putting yourself out there and you're trying. And there's no harm in trying. Just pray that God gives you guidance and discernment along the way. And if you need a good, quick, high-protein hack, 2 shots of espresso over ice, venti cup from Starbucks, and then this vanilla bean, shake it up together. It's so good.
Well, take that L. But rate or Riz, guys, would that work on you? Would that work on you? Have you been through a nasty breakup, a false accusation, or divorce court hell? Our private university isn't just about self-improvement. It's about protecting yourself as a man. We brought on legal child support officers, legal experts to teach you how to defend yourself before it happens. Reduce your risk, arm yourself with knowledge. Go to pearlinvite.com, watch the short video and apply, because nobody is coming to save you, but we can show you how to save yourself. If you were approached by this woman in public, would you be excited or offended? Let me know in the comments.
So I was at the grocery store the other day, and I'm in the produce section. And I'm like shopping for sweet potatoes, and I'm kind of like, you know, my basket's in front of like the sweet potato area, and I see this guy walk up, and he's sort of like kind of hovering around me with like one of those little plastic bags, and I thought, like, is he trying to get to the sweet potatoes too? And he was a good looking man. And I thought, okay, here's my chance. Like, I'm going to use this as an opportunity. And so, and by the way, if you're new here, I'm Jenny. I'm a dating coach, and I'm on my own dating journey, and I'm taking you along, and I'm teaching you and giving you great ideas for ways.
Women are never experts in something when they teach it. It's always they're on a journey. Always.
To meet men and turn IRL meet cutes into potential relationships and get off the dating apps. So, I said to him, "Oh, am I in your way?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm just trying to get this bag open." And it's, you know how those produce bags are like impossible to get apart. And I was like, "Oh, I know what you mean." I was like, if we were in our grandparents' generation, they would have licked their finger and, like, you know, you touched it like that. And he goes, "I know," but he was like, post-COVID, like, I can't do that. And I was like, "Tell me about it. We're all germaphobes now." And we laughed, right? And we had a great little exchange, like a great little moment. I ultimately decided I wasn't feeling it, but it would have been easy for me to have converted that into like kind of flirting with him a little bit, and then converting that into something more potentially, right? If he was feeling the same way. And so I thought, this is a great one to remember, okay? Because you could really use this anytime you wanted to, right? Because here's the key. When you approach a man, like, if he's interested at all, he's going to help keep the conversation going. Like, all you need to do is just start it up and like say something and be friendly. And I was being funny and friendly. Like, I'm a very expressive person. Like, I don't have a problem talking to people. I love talking to people that I don't know. So as long as you get it started, then if he's interested at all, he's going, or if he's just a nice person, he's going to keep it going, which he did, right? Like, we had a funny little exchange. There was more in there that I can't remember, but that was the basic gist. So the thing that I was realizing is you can really use this anytime, because you don't actually have to think that the man wants to get to whatever you're standing by, right? Like, you could actually create this scenario where all you do is, like, say you see a cute guy in the store, you just kind of saunter on over to whatever he's in front of, act like you were looking for it too, and then kind of maybe get in his way a little bit. You'd have to be very subtle with this, okay? And then be like, "Oh, was I in your way?" Right? Done. You don't actually have to think that he wanted to get to what you wanted. You just have to kind of create the
What if the guy's like, "Yeah, can you move?"
scenario, right? Like replicate the scenario. I've heard men say that, like, a lot of times, like, very attractive men especially have so many women approaching them that a lot of times, like, it's the ones that actually or they have so many women that are interested in them that it's the ones that actually approach them and make themselves known that tend to get their attention. And a lot of times too, like, men noticing you is really just a proximity thing. We think sometimes that it means something about us. We're not attractive enough or whatever if men aren't approaching us. But a lot of times it really just comes down to, like, you have to make yourself obvious. Right? Men are very in the moment creatures. I don't even want to say, I hate all the man bashing that's gone around for years. Like, men are just oblivious. They're not oblivious. They're just in the moment, right? So you kind of have to just be in the moment too. Like, you have to be in their moment, right? So, like, you just need to be in proximity and create an excuse to say something. And that's a great one, because you don't have to feel like.
My favorite Riz was still the first one, but it could be because she was the best looking one.
You're, like, really putting yourself out there.
Okay, who's next? Let's see. We're going to rate the Riz.
Oh my God, yes, for sure I've approached guys. Now, obviously, it's a lot easier when you're, a girl. You can pretty much get away with a lot more. Even more than that, I used to do door-to-door sales, 100% commission. And what is approaching if not knocking on someone's door to sell solar panels? So if you live in the Southern California area, probably knocked on your door. But what usually helps me and how I do it, my kind of style, is I'm usually talking to everybody, right? I'm a really big extrovert. So I'm talking to a lot of people in the bars and the clubs or wherever I'm at. And I usually always find a reason to include the guy that I want to talk to in the conversation, even if it's like, hey, what do you think? You're being too quiet over there. Something along those lines to invite him into my fun. I kind of turn my attention back to the group and then back to him, back to the group. If I like him, then I will then isolate him and talk to him more one-on-one and see where it goes from there. But I will tell you why girls, including myself, actually don't like approaching that much is when a girl approaches, a guy just automatically assumes, most of the time, most men automatically assume they're in, and then they'll just like boy barnacle to me the rest of the night. And then it's like, oh God, I just kind of wanted to feel you out a little bit. Realize that even though you might be good looking, not my style, if you will. And then I got to find a way to like back out or excuse myself to the bathroom, leaving him probably very confused. When a guy has a courage to approach me, it automatically weeds out all the other ones because I know that that guy has courage. Even if I'm not into it, he still walks away with my respect.
Okay, rate that Riz, guys. I'm going to give her, for a woman, this is on a female scale, because we're not very good at this, obviously. I'm going to give like a 6. All right, let's see the last one.
I'm at Jack's wife Frida for lunch, and there's a really cute guy at the bar, so I kind of want to go up to him and say hi. And he's by himself. My friend just confirmed, so I'm going to go up to him. Jack, you looking? Sitting right there at the bar.
I did not like that wave. This is my least favorite so far.
And I'm going to go say hi, because I think he's cute. Whatever, who cares? Say hi. Yeah.
She's got a good body. That's going to help. She's thin, at least. The voice, I thought she might be kind of fat.
She's crazy. How did he walk up and you're like, he's not cute, he's not cute. He just looked her up and down.
All right, what, is he into it?
Like, I have money. Why is he just sitting at a bar on a Thursday? This is insane. Obviously.
This used to be normal like 10 years ago.
He sees your phone. Which one is the word? Got my number, and we're all gonna go out tomorrow.
That's the difference between women that want to be in relationships and women that don't. Because the women that actually want to be in relationships, they'll put their ego aside and do stuff that could potentially get them rejected. The women that don't want to be, they just get off on rejecting men. I think I liked that one. That one was fine. I thought the wave was kind of weird in the beginning. But I'm going to give that a 6.5. I put that a second. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you like the video on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.